5 o'clock a.m., Northern Midwest Satellite Studio. 5:30 a.m., Sacramento, California Satellite Studio. Stay tuned for more exciting programs only here on INCRadio.
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are, where you are right now, is here with us on INCRadio Virginia. It is Saturday, January 6th, 3:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sunday, January 7, 4:03 a.m. in the Philippines. It is our first episode of the year 2024, so we want to greet all of our dear viewers a happy new year, and thank you for starting it out with INCRadio Virginia. Before we continue, we would always like to give our special greetings to our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Vimanalo, and to our CFO Coordinator, SEPSI President and CEO, Brother Angelo Aranio Manalo. Thank you both for allowing us to have opportunities to connect with brethren all around the world through projects such as INCRadio. To keep watching INCRadio Virginia and other programs like this, you can do so by going to incradio.org. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel by searching INCRadio DZEM 954. And if you're tuning in from the Philippines, you can listen to us on INCRadio DZEM 954. I am Brother RJ Gabrantina from the local congregation of Chesapeake, Virginia, and thank you for joining us on our episode. Before we begin, this is your reminder to keep commenting in the live chat for our ongoing hashtag challenge here on INCRadio Virginia. Comment with the hashtag symbol followed by your corresponding hashtag so we can see who is the most active and supportive local congregation in the District of Virginia. Speaking of which, we have our winner of the 2023 hashtag challenge. So let's see the results first from last week's episode, and then we'll reveal who the winner is of our hashtag challenge. Kuya Tech, please play the hashtag challenge video. Who could it be? Here are the results of the INCRadio Virginia hashtag challenge for the episode from December 30th, the final episode of 2023. For fifth place, it's the local congregation of High Point, North Carolina. In fourth place, we have the local congregation of Chesapeake, Virginia. Coming in at third place, it's a tie between the local congregation of Newport News and the extension of Richmond, Virginia. In second place is the local congregation of Charlotte, North Carolina. And in first place is the local congregation of Macon, Georgia. Congratulations to all the winners. But who took the crown for the hashtag challenge for the entire year of 2023? It's time to find out our grand winner. For fifth place, it's the local congregation of Huntsville, Alabama. In fourth place, we have the local congregation of Chesapeake, Virginia. Coming in at third place is the local congregation of Macon, Georgia. In second place is the local congregation of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And our first place winner of the 2023 hashtag challenge is the local congregation of Charlotte, North Carolina. Congratulations, Charlotte, and thank you all for your support. 2024 is now here, and that means a brand new leaderboard. Make sure you keep commenting your hashtag in the live chat. Congratulations again to the local congregation of Charlotte, our grand winner for the 2023 hashtag challenge. Thank you so much for your support, but not even just Charlotte, but all the local congregations and even group worship services who have always participated and showed support for INCRadio Virginia. I want to give a special shout out to the local congregation of Macon because I've been seeing the numbers each episode, and they got third place for the overall, but they really shot up. I always joke in every episode, Macon was making their way up to the top. Well, anyways, we'll move on with our show because we do have a great topic to talk about here, and I do have some great people here to talk about it with me. So I'd like to introduce them at this time. So let's start with our sister. Please introduce yourself, where you're from, and anything else you'd like to say to our audience.
Hey everyone, good morning and good evening and good afternoon. Sorry. My name is Thea Kuyabyab. I'm coming to you from the South Atlanta area in Georgia. Happy to be with you.
Yes, thank you so much for you got it all. The good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's one of those things somewhere in the world. So thank you for joining us, Sister Thea. And we also have another brother here to join us. Go ahead and introduce yourself and same things, where you're from. Anything else you'd like to share?
Hello, everyone. My name is Brother Carl Maglanke. I'm also from South Atlanta and very, very happy to join you today as the first episode of the year. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, thank you. South Atlanta representing today on the episode of INC Radio Virginia. Thank you so much for joining. Let's go ahead and kind of get into it with a fun little icebreaker here. So our topic is about building healthy habits. That's why I've kind of tied in this icebreaker. It's another. See, I'm not even doing it. You'll know. You'll understand. My guests here know what the icebreaker is, but the audience doesn't know yet. A good habit is learning how to do public speaking. And when you're doing public speaking, a good habit is to not say like I just did multiple times. Ironic, I'm the host. But we're gonna test our guests' public speaking as well. So I have some prompts here. I'll have you choose. So I have a total of 4 prompts. You can choose a number 1 through 4, and then I'll give you the prompt. You'll have about a minute or so. I won't really count. I'm not going to time it, but give me as much information about the prompt as possible to and not say like I just did again. I'm noticing it myself. It's okay. Maybe you'll do better than me. So let's actually start with Brother Carl. Let's give you a chance first. So give me a number between 1 through 4.
Number 3 po.
Number 3. Okay, this is a pretty good one. I think you'll be able to do this one very well. Explain to me your morning routine. So just tell me how you start your day.
But I'm sorry, I just started. Well, when I wake up in the morning, I always start with coffee. Most people say coffee first, and my coffee is always complicated to do. So it's like I start up with boiling water. It's called bulletproof coffee. So I would add butter, coconut oil or MCT oil, coffee, and artificial sweetener. And then I would put some salt on it, use a blender so I can, get my day started. I feel like if I start with that, I'll have more energy and clarity during the day. So of course, the regular routine, shower, bathing, and all the good stuff.
Nice. Wow. That was actually very good. The only time you said is with the very beginning. Because you were trying to collect your thoughts. And I think that is a common thing when people are trying to speak. So good job. That was amazing. All right, Sister Thea. Brother Carl set the bar pretty high. So let's
Yeah, I
see.
know.
So number 3 is
number
fun.
2 for me.
Number 2.
2.
Excuse me. All right. Explain to me the rules of your favorite sport. It can be any sport that you watch or play. I don't know. Even like a game, like a childhood game or anything like that. Whatever it may
All right.
be.
Brother Carl, he off screen is doing this motion.
All
So
right.
I play table tennis recreationally. And the first rule is in your serve, you have to release the ball at least 6 inches in the air before you hit it over the table. A lot of people don't do that. They automatically foul by throwing it against the paddle, or they keep the ball in their hand. And then the next rule is that there should be a bounce on your side and a bounce on your opponent's side before they're allowed to hit it over to you. And the rules of play are pretty standard, pretty simple, and pretty well known from there. You are not allowed to hit the ball without it bouncing on your side of the table. And the first to 11 wins the game. Ooh.
Wow. That was actually again amazing. What's it called? Because Brother Carl only said it in the beginning. Sister Thea, you did it in the middle, but you only did it twice that I noticed at least. So that's amazing. Also, I just realized too, when you talked about table tennis, I believe you were the winner for our inter-district unity games.
That's right. Yes, I was.
So who better to explain the rules than our defending champion? I'm just kidding. Well,
Thanks, Brother RJ.
yeah. All right. So great job. We'll go more now into our discussion about building healthy habits because in New Year's, right around this time, this is when people are making those habits. They want to start something new. They want to better themselves or maybe continue ones that they tried last year and maybe failed. So with that part in mind, oftentimes it's hard. Sometimes people set big goals or goals that it's completely new to them. So sometimes they don't hit it right on right from the beginning. So what has been the most difficult thing for you when creating new habits? Is it like coming up with it? Is it whatever the case may be? Anyone can start off.
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say it's about just sticking with it. It's easy enough to come up with a list, but a lot of, there's jokes about it, there's memes about it. You go to the gym on the first day of the year and it's packed. And then 2, 3 weeks later, it's back to the old regulars. I mean, Brother Carl is actually a regular gym goer. So I'm only speaking theoretically, personally. But I don't know. Maybe Brother Carl, you can speak about your literal
I definitely agree.
experience.
Yeah, because it's easy to start, especially the new year. You feel like everyone is on your side, like everybody wants the new year, new me. You can start. It's hard to stay with it. But to me, the same thing happens. Fitness wise, I'm able to stick with it already. But for me, it's another habit that I'm trying to build, which is a upkeep with the house. Because you want to do what do you call it, decorate or keep well maintain everything. But the hard part is once I start, you sometimes go back to your old habits. You go to your equilibrium state, but you have to
Yes.
keep pushing harder, Paul.
Oh yeah, definitely. And going back to what Sister Thea said, I was actually listening into some other INC radio programs before this one while waiting for ours to start, and they had similar topics about like New Year's resolutions and things like that. And one person gave a tip about their New Year's resolution that I actually was like, this is a good tip, and that was don't be ashamed if you don't see success right away. Keep it up. Like it's not going to come overnight. It's a New Year's resolution. It might take the whole year. It might take more years. So that's a great point, is that to keep with it. It's not going to be instant. And even if it is, where's the gratification in that, right? You want to know that you worked hard for it. Brother Carl, you mentioned another one is not just the fitness aspect, but even like your lifestyle in terms of like your house and upkeep. I'm also kind of the same. And what you said is reverting back to my old habits. That's my hardest part. Is I know I have all these goals that I want to set, and actually this year I'm looking forward to making some big changes. But it's tough. I've been told I'm a creature of habit. So like whatever I've done throughout my entire life is like kind of what I'm used to, and it's comfortable. But it's something that we all need to work on, right? So to keep up with it and to not give up, what motivates you to not give up on the habits? How do you keep yourself motivated? Brother Carl, let's start with you.
I think because I'm a very visual kind of person, so I do have a lot of boards and also on my computer screen or maybe cell phone, I write down what I need to do and what I want to do, accomplish. So it's almost like having a vision board for myself. So if I see it, it motivates me to keep up with it. Maybe also for me, that's what I said, the word upkeep of the house. That's what I wanted to do this year because it helps me be able to lessen the stress. 'Cause I feel so stressed when the house is a little messy, when my workstation is a little bit full of clutter. So when I clean it up, I feel motivated even more to do so. So I remember that feeling, oh, if I'm decluttering, I feel better. Maybe I should keep up with it. This is how I motivate myself.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you said like the decluttering. I've always heard that in a clean space you have a clean mind and it helps you work better. You're more productive. You're more efficient. Also, yeah, and definitely just starting it. Also, like right, like there's no better time than right now, and like a best way to keep motivated that I've heard, at least. Again, it's something I'm like Sister Faye, I'm talking theoretically. Hopefully, it absorbs into me now. Is to just start. right? You always say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that," then do it, right? But Sister Thea, do you have anything to add to that? How do
Yeah,
you motivate?
actually. And if you don't mind me going off on a tangent, Brother
Sure.
RJ and Brother Carl. So when you told me the topic of today's show, I was really like, oh wow, what a serendipitous occasion, because I had just started reading this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Have you read it, Brother Carl?
I
Yeah.
have audiobook.
Oh wow.
Yes. And so there's this thing that I wanted to share with you, which really is you would call it like a paradigm shift. A lot of people, especially at the start of the year with the New Year's resolutions, they focus on the outcomes. But he's saying um, your habits are they come from who you are, your identity. And this little bit that I wanted to share with you. Um, the more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. In fact, the word identity was originally derived from the Latin word essentitas. I don't know if you can see it,
Oh wow.
which means being, and identidem, which means repeatedly. And so your identity is literally your repeated beingness. So the first thing that I'm doing in this new year that I neglected to do last year is really try to identify who I want to become, not just the things I want to accomplish. For example, like I throw around the idea that I'm gonna write a book of short stories, or I'm gonna do something really big like that. But instead of saying I'm gonna write a book, the question you ask is what kind of person would be able to would write a book? Someone who is reliable, who is dedicated, who is observant, and who is disciplined in putting, in setting aside that time and effort. So instead of me saying I'm going to write a book in 2024, I would say I want to be reliable, disciplined, and dependable. You know what I mean? And I think that part of being able to stick with it is constantly telling yourself, reminding yourself, this is who I am. Those daily affirmations, they call them. I don't know, it was a thing for a few years, right? And it really is something when you tell yourself, I am dependable. I am reliable. I am trustworthy. I am kind. Because you're the first person that has to believe it, and then those habits that the choices that you make that reinforce who you are as a person will only get stronger. Again, the only things that I'm really sure of at this time is that I'm a devoted member of the Church of Christ. How do I know that? I go to church twice a week, sometimes 3 4 times a week, sometimes all week. And, we're always performing in the choir, always teaching in the CWS, in the Children's Worship Service, excuse me. And I find joy and happiness in that. So I can say without any doubt, I am dedicated and I am devoted to this church. I am a religious person. So all I have to do is now identify all of the things that I want to become, and then just keep doing those things that reinforce that identity, not just the behavior, but the identity. So I hope that helped. Um, it really was eye opening for me to come across that concept. You kind of hear it throughout the years, or the different people as you try to explore how to develop good habits. But I think for me, this was the first thing. Like, instead of just writing down a list of what I want to accomplish, I want to be very, very sure of the kind of person that I want to become.
Wow, very well said. I'm glad you went on this tangent because that's a very, um, yeah, like you said, eye-opening kind of information. And it all makes sense really because it's not about the behavior itself. Like that, you can do all these things great, but who are you doing them? I think that's great. So one of my goals too, and that's something I want to be in a better habit of, is reading more. So I might have to ask you or Brother Carl, since you have the audiobook, it might be easier for me to do audio, honestly. So I might have to
Mhm.
ask for that. Shout out to my fiance who's trying to make me read more. So you help me out in both ways by helping better myself and appeasing my fiance. So um, I want to read some of the chat who's joining us here today. I saw someone here, our auntie Lucy, who is also INC Radio Virginia. She said, "I learned from you, sister." Was talking about ping pong or table tennis because I believe she played as well. Did you guys face off at any point?
Yes, at the or the
Oh,
district
right.
level, I played against Sister Lucy. She's such a blast.
Yeah. I do see a lot of Macon in the chat. Again, making their way to the top. They might start off this year at the top. So I do see um, High Point is also in. I see a lot of High Point saying to stay healthy is, I guess, a goal that they're looking to do. I'm seeing a lot of sports emojis in the chat as well. I think they're just looking to be more physically active, which is great. Um, let's see who else is here. Hello to everyone. Yes, new year, new you, and hashtag healthy life. Very good. Healthy habits. Everyone's looking to have more healthy habits. So great. Looks like everyone, please live chat, continue to chime in the conversation and let us know what your thoughts are on everything here. Oh, I see someone from Macon as well. It's Alyssa. They don't have a name on the last name on here, but it says Atatea taught me how to play table tennis as well. Atatea, I didn't know you were so famous.
Oh, I didn't know either. Alyssa Bonifacio.
Oh
Our
yeah,
sister.
okay. That's probably who it
Yeah.
is. Yes. All right, let's continue on with our conversation. We kind of brought this up here, Kuya Carl. You kind of mentioned strategies. You talked about visualizing it, putting on a board. Seeing is not necessarily seeing is believing, but seeing will help you get it going. Are there any other strategies that you've tried or that you continue to use?
I also wanted to bring up that book too, the Atomic Habits too, because the name itself, Atomic Habits, means small, minute changes. Because when you are in the new year, everyone thinks about something big, like I want to be skinny at the end of the year, I want to be fit like this and that. But he said in the book too that if you make little habits, it will add up to a bigger picture. So, for example, instead of parking close to the door, you park a little farther, so you walk more during the day. Or if you want to clean the house, you said that arrange a little part of the house, and the more you do it, the bigger it will build up, and you become more successful that way. Because even for me as a physical therapist, that's how I teach my patients to exercise and do their health care. Because if you have to do things in a very big way all the time, as human beings, we don't like big changes. We want to be, it's almost like we're fighting against it. But if you tell them, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, before you know it, you're already better because your body develops a certain level of fitness or conditioning or something like that. And then you get the goal, you achieve the goal, and you become successful.
Yeah, and I feel like if you piece it up a little bit, it's less intimidating because
Yeah.
even though you're the one who's setting this goal, sometimes you can be intimidated by yourself. Like, oh my gosh, this is such a big feat. Maybe I can't do this, and like maybe doubt comes into your mind a little bit. But if you make it smaller and like moderated, you might be able to be again going back to the motivation part. Is like, oh, I can do this. Right, Sister Thea, did you have anything to add to that part of the strategies or anything?
Yeah, a couple of things. Someone said, if you tell me you want to whatever exercise regularly, show me on your calendar where you've set that time aside. I was very guilty in saying, there's nothing on my calendar. But for all of those little things, you really have to not just say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym. Yeah, you have to set those reminders because we're only human, and we're fallible. But another thing that really resonated with me was the idea that, like, when we vote, and I'm not going to get political, but it doesn't matter if you sometimes if people vote for this candidate or that. It's whatever the majority is, right? So there will be times when we make mistakes. There will be times when we oversleep or we don't, eat make the right choices for our food. But as long as what wins in the majority is in the direction that we're going to, then even if it takes us 2 years or 3 years or more time than we want, we're still in the moving in the right direction. So I just want to, these are the things that I tell myself when I feel bad that I didn't get it, a workout in, right? Just,
Yeah.
you know, there will be another opportunity. I had a life coach at one time. Shout out Sister Malu. Uh,
Mm.
every choice is another opportunity, and so you just have to keep on, like trying to make it the right choice, the choice that is better for you, better for your family.
Yeah, and again, like I was saying, I was watching some previous radio episodes of other satellite studios, and again, I think this is the same person who I quoted before. She was saying like, if your goal is to be healthier, don't focus on the number on the scale. Focus on your healthier habits, right? Because then that is your goal, right? Your goal shouldn't be focused on just the number and what you're seeing. It's how you're feeling, your choices, your habits, and everything like that. So, you can tell that that sister like was speaking some truths to me, and it made me inspired to like be better myself. Really quick, so that we can have like maybe it's on the internet now, it's on YouTube. We can this will be our accountability system. Do you have any habits that you're looking to build in this year? I've already mentioned mine, a couple. I want to read more. I want another one I didn't mention is I want to lessen my screen time. I'm very just scrolling on my phone a lot. So I want to work on those things. What about you, Sister Thea? What is your goals?
I have three that I wrote down right now. I want to develop and explore my creative outlets, become an early bird, and be a strong advocate for my faith.
Nice. Very good goals. Speaking of which, January 26th, we're having a EVM in our district. So let's use
Nice.
that opportunity to start this year off right and start this healthy habit of being an advocate of our faith and sharing it. Brother Carl, what about you? What are goals do you have this year?
Like what I've already mentioned, I want to do the decluttering part, and I want to live a minimalist lifestyle. But I know it's going to be a hard lifestyle to get into, but I want to work on it, and I also want to get into reading books as well. I do have audiobooks because I drive a lot, so I can listen to the audio. And when I work out too, I listen to audiobooks. But I want to hold on a book again, feel that very solid thing again. So
One of the things I love is a new book smell. I'm not even an avid reader myself, but the smell of a book is really good.
just put.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah,
All right, we
so
are
random.
wrapping up in our show. So, live chat viewers, this is your last chance to get in your hashtags, but I want to give an opportunity to our guests to give any shout outs or greetings to anyone they'd like to greet. Brother Carl, do you have any shout outs?
Maybe a shout out po for my minister brother, Brother King Jean Maglanke and his family po. Hello po in the locale of Marikina. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Atatea?
Shout out to mom and dad in the Locos Norte, my brother and his family, my sister-in-law, my nephews in Gainesville, Florida, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you again for joining us on our first episode. Hopefully, you start a better life with your healthy habits. Make one habit being always tuning in to INC Radio Virginia. We always have some good conversations here. So before we close out, we'd like to give our special greetings to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our CFO coordinator, Brother Angelo Aranio Manalo, our district minister, Brother Stephen Asensio, our assistant district minister, Brother June Hernandez, our district CFO overseer who just came into the district. Welcome, po, Brother Melvin Bayangoan, our district multimedia advisor, Brother Denza Malapit, our station manager, Brother Arnel Solano, our executive producer, Brother Manly Andaya, our Kuya Tex, and all of our INC Radio family, and of course, to all of you watching and supporting INC Radio Virginia. We'll see you next week, but for now, keep tuning in for INC Radio Seattle. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Make good habits.